my name is Tal and welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is safe and I'm praying for you and your family. I trust that if you guys are able to stay home, that you are in and working from home. And if you do have to go out because you're an essential employee, please just be safe out there. I know a lot of you guys are wondering what's gonna happen for my application as a result of this whole pandemic. So just to help you through this, I'm doing this video. Do not mind my hair. The hair salon is closed. So it's a do-it-yourself hairstyle, hence the reason I have this on. So do not be distracted by that, but I'm just putting it out there. But truly, I want to give you guys all the information that you need that will help you through this process. So I just want to talk about the different stages in the process, and depending where you are, how it will affect you or if it will affect you and what you need to do. And I just want you guys to know that the agency, they obviously are modifying certain guidelines, or they're aware of what's going on. So this is something that never happened before, but they are considering this pandemic extenuating circumstance. Information is constantly being updated. I know particularly for HUD, quite a few guidance came out for HDC. I received 2 emails, and I'm going to quote you a line from that email as well, so you could use that line. But just so I stay on track, I want to start off in the beginning. So if you just applied for a developer, you submitted your application on Housing Connect, and you were assigned a log number, but you were not contacted as yet, that's fine. This will not impact you in any way whatsoever. If you were contacted and you right now, I do not believe that they're doing any face-to-face interview. So what if you were contacted for an appointment? My guess, from what I know and from most of my friends that work in the industry, they are just collecting documents and not necessarily doing that face-to-face interview. So if you're in the stage, if you had an appointment scheduled, my guess is either that they pushed up your appointment to have you come in sooner, or they're just advising you to send the documents electronically. You never know. Some developer may even be doing Zoom calls if the applicant could do that. But for the most part, they're just collecting the documents electronically, and they're doing like a phone interview just to ask the same questions as they would if you actually came in for an appointment, for an eligibility appointment. And so right now you could mail, fax, or email them the documents. So once you submit those documents, right, if say for example your income has changed as a result of this whole pandemic, well, one, if you already sent them the documents and there's changes to your income, you need to reach out to them. If you are about to submit your documents and there is a change in your income that would not be reflect, say your last 4 pay statements or 6 pay statements is fine, but the next pay statement that you will receive, there will be changes, you need to advise the agent. So you provide them with what's requested, but you advise them that there will be a change. So if you, and this is an example that if you're now submitting your documents for eligibility appointment, say that you sent me your documents last week, or say you came in for your interview. No, better yet, you submitted your documents last week. I'm reviewing them now. You're working more hours because you're a nurse, for example. So you need to advise them that, say your next pay stub is going to be like you're working nonstop overtime, and there will be a greater amount reflected on your next income. You could advise them If they ask of any changes, you could advise them of that. More than likely, what they would do is to see what's reflected on that new pay stub that you receive with those additional hours. So that's what you will do in that case. Just keep them in the loop, right? They will go through the same process. Right now, once all your documents are good, they're not bringing you in to sign the HDC documents. They are submitting the paperwork to HDC without the applicant's signature, unless you're able to sign electronically or something. They're just submitting the documents without the signature, and what the agency is doing is a contingency approval. So they're approving you, considering that when this whole pandemic dies down, then you'll sign off on the documents, and then they'll give you an official approval. So here's the thing, and this is why it's imperative to let the agent know what's going on, what change in your income, because once you're approved, when you go in to do your lease signing, there's a document called reaffirmation of income. So, and this example goes for someone, even if you were previously approved in February and you're about to sign your lease, they have to ask you if there were any changes in your income. And if there were changes in your income, you have to advise them. So whether that was an increase or a decrease. So for example, if the information that you were approved on, if you were unfortunately laid off and you will not be receiving that income, that will not be an accurate projection of your income, you need to advise them. Because now your income for the next 12 months will be different. And I don't want you guys to think that, advising them will automatically disqualify you. That's not the case. So in a situation, in an unfortunate circumstance, whereas you were laid off, and if you were laid off and you're applied for unemployment income, right? There's two scenarios for that. One, do you have a return to work date? Or two, do you just, you were just laid off with no return to work date? So in example one, if your answer to that question is yes, I have a return to work date, I'll be returning to work April 15th, right? So what they will do is to calculate that unemployment income for that 2 weeks period, or however long you'll receive it. If your return to work date was May 1st, they're gonna count that duration of the unemployment income. So they will need to know the amount that you're qualified for and how many weeks you'll be getting it. Say for example, you'll be getting $500 and you'll be getting that for 4 weeks. Then they're gonna count that $2,000 income, and then they're gonna start counting your income again as of your return to work date. But there will be that interim change when to use that unemployment income, because that will be counted for the duration of time that you will be receiving that unemployment income. So in an example that you do not have a return to work date and you just, you're just now unemployed, unfortunately. So once you file that unemployment claim, that income that you're getting for unemployment, that's what will need to qualify you, because they will then project that unemployment income for the next 12 months. So for example, if the unemployment is $500, they're going to calculate that $500 for 52 weeks. So that $500 times 52 will need to qualify you for that apartment. So for example, if before your income was, say, $700 a week, and that's 700 times 52, I'm not doing the math in my head, but say, let me just do it so that you guys have a clear understanding of what I'm explaining. So if you normally gets $700 for 52 weeks. That's 36,400, right? Say now you're getting $500, and this is just an example, for that same 52 weeks, that $500 being the unemployment income. So you times that by 52. Now we're talking about $26,000. So if the income bracket that you are applying for was, say, 30,000 to 40,000, and with your regular salary you're eligible, but now with the unemployment you're no longer eligible, unfortunately they would not approve your application because they have to project it based on the income that you're now earning. They're no longer going to use the income that you earned before because that's not a reflection of your projected income. So if you guys have any questions about that, let me know. I hope I was clear on that. So again, if circumstances change and you're no longer earning an income, they are not going to use that income that you once earned, because that's no longer a projection of what you will earn within the next 12 months. So for the low income housing tax credit program, they project your income for the next 12 months. So even if you had on your application when you initially applied, right? Say if you had $40,000, because that's what you used to earn, but now you're no longer earning that. They're not going to use that information as it's no longer relevant to your projection. So I hope that was clear to you guys. If it's a situation whereas you're earning way more hours than you normally earn, right now the best thing to do, because the guidance that HDC mentioned was that developer leasing teams should use their they should make a great judgment. I'm misquoting them, the exact word. They should use they should do their due diligence. That's the term I was trying to think of. So, it's specifically stated that, agencies should pretty much use their due diligence at this time, because we understand that this is an unusual circumstance. These nurses, I'm sure most of them didn't want to work all this overtime where they're literally sleeping for 2 hours. By the way, thank you for all the first responders. Thank you for all the the healthcare workers. Thank you for all you do. I truly hope that God give you the grace and the strength to get through this. And I know it's tough. I just wanted to put that out there because I know a lot of them didn't ask to do all this, but agencies are asked to do their due diligence and not just to solely reject someone based on their current circumstances. So a lot of what's happening now is clarification from the employers. And I know even right now it could be difficult. I'm struggling with that for my own company. Right now I'm in the middle of an audit and I'm having a hard time getting responses from employers. So I know it's going to be a struggle to get that clarification from an employer, but that's what's going to be needed. Say, for example, you're a nurse and you're a healthcare professional, whatever, maybe not a nurse, but you're a healthcare professional, and say you're working all this overtime. If your employer could produce a letter, I know it may be difficult for them to say how long they anticipate this, but clarification from employers are going to be needed so we could kind of help assess how long to project that overtime for. I know it's unfortunate, but if all your pay statements say before as a nurse you were earning, and there's middle income also, so some people may say, well, nurse income don't qualify for low income, but there's middle income programs. So say you were working $70,000, right? And your last 4 or 6 pay statements projected your income at that $70,000, But now, if we were to get your recent pay stub, or your most recent pay stub after this whole pandemic, and now it's projecting your income at $100,000, or maybe not so dramatic, maybe like $79,000 because of the overtime that you're working. So two things will happen. Like if the agent is able to get clarification from the employer, say, hey, this person was working the overtime as a result of the pandemic. We hired 40 additional nurses, so this employee ability to earn overtime will end April 23rd, as we will no longer be short-staffed and the employee will no longer be required to work 90 hours a week or what have you. So once your employer is able to phrase something along that lines, it doesn't have to be verbatim, but that's the information, what they need to know. How long is this expected to last for? So with that information, the agency will then use their due diligence to better project your income, and they may even just wait for you to get, more recent pay stubs. The other thing is that if you no longer qualify for that AMI, as this will always be the case, what they can do is offer you another AMI, say a higher AMI or a lower AMI. If your income decrease, they will offer you a lower AMI. If your income fits within that other AMI, or if your income increase, they have to offer you a higher AMI. And AMI again is area median income. So there's different percentage. There's 40%, there's 50%, there's 60%. That's the low income end. The 80s, the moderate, and then you get to the 100, or the 90, the 120, the 130. Then we're entering into the middle income bracket. But they have to see where else you fit. It's not like, okay, income change, disqualified. That is not the case. But right now, this whole pandemic, it will unfortunately drag out the process a little more for you if your income changes anything in the determination that was previously made, as long as your lease is not signed. If your lease was already signed, you're good. You don't have anything to worry about. They can't go back on that. But if you did not sign the lease as yet, these extra steps have to be taken, because again, before that lease signing is that reaffirmation of income. Like right now, I have a friend that I was working with and she was just approved, thank God. But before she signs her lease, she has to sign that reaffirmation of income, that nothing changed in her income. I just want to give you guys this tip too, because I see it happen. I personally had to, well, I didn't evict them, but I had to get our attorneys involved because there was fraudulent information, whereas people signed that reaffirmation that nothing changed. But remember, if you are a low income applicant, you are doing a recertification every year. So this always happens, and I'm telling you guys again, the purpose of these videos are to help you get these apartments the honest way and tell you what you need to know. What I'm telling you is honest information from someone that understands the process, because I've been working in the industry. These are additional tips that will help you. It's not like, under the table information or nothing illegal, or this is not information to tell you to get ahead of the system, but I'm giving you the information that you need to know so it could help you with your application process the honest way, and that you guys are not committing any fraudulent activities or so forth. Because let me tell you, I've seen it before, over and over again. You will get evicted if you committed fraud when you applied, or even at recertification. You will get evicted. I've seen it before. So if you sign that reaffirmation of income and indicate that nothing changed, next year, and this is for low income, because middle income, there's no recertification. Not to say you should sign it, but I'm just saying, not to say that you should lie, but I'm just saying. So for low income, the next year you have to do a recertification, right? There are ways of finding this information out. So if you indicated that nothing changed, but next year when you come in to do your recertification, we see information that's contrary to what you affirm to, you will get evicted, because they will start they'll start a holdover for fraud. They will advise that you committed fraud, and you do not want to commit fraud in the low income program, because that could prevent you from any future getting approved for any future developer. So you do not want to commit fraud. I know it's unfortunate. I know a lot of people will be upset because they were like, I did qualify. It's not my fault that my income changed, and we get that. But while we understand, or while the agency understand that there's extenuating circumstances, it doesn't mean that the rules no longer applied. It just means that the developers have to use their best judgment and really do their due diligence to make sure that we're making the right determination on the application. But again, rules are still in place. You could read, it doesn't go into it deeply, but reference the HDC Marketing Handbook. They talk about extenuating circumstance. You can find it on page 49. That's, I believe, 5-2, page 49. At the bottom of page 49, they vaguely talk about extenuating circumstance. So I hope this information was helpful. I'm just trying to think if there is anything else I should advise you guys of. And as I get updates, the reason why I held off on doing this video is because last week, my week is just webinars, conference calls, just trying to get an understanding of these changes that happened within just 3 weeks. So there's constant updates after another revision to an update that was made 2 days ago. So there's a lot of updates. And keep in mind that, right now they are making accommodation. Electronic signatures are approved. Again, faxing documents, mailing documents. So they're really trying to adjust as much as possible. So speak to your recertification specialist. And no one should just be prematurely rejecting anyone. But if you feel like you were prematurely rejected, this is the line I want you to code. And just say, this came from the marketing director for HDC. I'm sorry, this came from the vice president of compliance. So if you feel like they just like, okay, you're rejected without doing any due diligence, I want you to code this for them. Let me just find it. Right here. So the line exactly says, applicants should not be processed or rejected solely on the basis of current income. You guys heard me? So applicants should not be processed or rejected solely on the basis of current income. So make sure that they're doing their due diligence. It's not like, oh, there's a change, you're rejected, you're done here. No, they have to make those attempts to your employer. They have to give you the opportunity to get some clarification from your employer. And, I know, unfortunately, a lot of people may have been laid off, but if at all possible, try to see if there's a return to work date. Even if the employer because I know sometimes they don't like to put out a lot of information, but whatever they could do. Say even this employer may return to work between May 1st and May 10th, something. See if you could get something along that lines, because something along that lines is better than nothing at all. because if there's nothing at all, they have to only calculate your unemployment income. And just so you understand too, right? Because a lot of people always say, well, that doesn't make sense, it's shady. But think about it like this, right? So in the same example that we gave earlier, with your regular income being 700 and now it's lowered to 500, if you are applying for, that's a significant difference. I think the maths was about $9,000 or $10,000, something along that lines. But think about it like this: if you were applying for a bracket that required you to make $30,000 to $40,000, right? Because they calculate that percentage of how much of your income will go to rent, right? Say that was the income bracket, right, for that rent amount. Whether, for example, if that rent amount was $400, for example, right? So that $30,000 to $40,000 income, that's a sufficient amount of income to cover a $400 rent, right? So you would have qualified. But now, if your income is $26,000 because your unemployment is $500, now your income is not sufficient to pay that rent, and then that creates a rent burden. So it's just like, we understand that you were qualified, but for the next 12 months, even though this may change obviously, but for unemployment income, they could only project the income that's accounted for. So they can't assume that you'll go back to work, because which date would their assumption be based on? So you may very well go back to work, but they can't assume when that would be. So how would they calculate it, right? So what they know for sure is that you'll be eligible for this unemployment for the next 12 months, unless of course something changed. And with low income housing tax credit, if something changed within the year, there's no interim recertification. If you're Section 8 HUD, there's what you call an interim recertification. So when that change occurs, if it's more or less than $200, then you could report it. But for tax credit, that's not the case. They're not visiting this again until the next 12 months. So that is the reason why they need to know that you're making sufficient income for this 12 months. So they could only calculate what they know for sure, or what appears to be the case for the next 12 months. So in a case whereas you're eligible for unemployment, that appears to be what your projected income would be for the next 12 months. So that is the reason why they could only use the income that's known to them. Because again, if things change and they're saying, okay, you know what, she used to make this amount, we're gonna still give her that unit where it's still $400, that's going to create a rent burden for you. And they just, the program just doesn't allow that. They want to make sure that qualified and eligible residents are living in these units, and that the residents living in the unit could actually afford the rent. Hence the reason why there are these different income brackets. So I hope this video was helpful. Guys, please subscribe to the channel for more information. As soon as there's any more update, I'll be sure to make another video. I can't think of anything else right now, but if you have any specific question, I know a couple people already reached out to me regarding how this will impact their application. But if you have any specific question, please reach out to me. My email is affordablehousinghelp@gmail.com. Let me know where you are. Let me know the change that took place. Before you even reach out to the agent, if you want to send me an email, let's talk about it. That's what I'm here for. That's why I'm doing these videos, because I don't want you guys to put yourself in a bad situation and you reject yourself, not understanding what you're doing. So talk to me. Tell me where you are. Tell me how this is impacting you and how it will help you get through it. Comment below. Let me know where you are if you're affected by this, and I will address it. And one more thing, because someone commented on another video that I made, and they asked a great question. They asked if the one-time checks that the president mentioned that will be issued, if that will be counted as income. So from what I understand, that is going to be a one-time check. I'm not sure. I don't think it's been determined if this will be something that's reoccurring. But with it being a one-time check, no, that will not be counted as an income. One-time income are not one-time payments or one-time income. That's not counted as a part of your projected income, because remember, projected means what's likely to be given or reoccur within the next 12 months. So if you are eligible for that check and you do get that check, that income will not be counted. It's a one-time payment, so that will not be counted as a part of your income. It's only reoccurring earned or unearned income, depending on the type of unearned income that's counted. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Share this video, like, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if this video is helpful. I know a lot of you guys give me great feedback via email, but give this video a thumbs up. Share it with your friends. A lot of people need to know this information, so share the video. Don't keep it for yourself. I'm going above and beyond to help you guys. I want you to help someone else. So like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a friend or a family member. Whatever question you have, let me know. And as always, guys, please do not get down and depressed about this. I know a lot of you guys just hate this whole process, but I assure you, and I'm gonna have my friend that was approved, I told her, I need you to come talk to my YouTube family, because I had to walk her through the process because her situation was very complicated, and without me telling her what to do, I'm pretty sure she would have been rejected. She pretty much rejected herself from another lottery, because it's complicated, and if you don't know the back end of things, it's likely to happen. So talk to me. But I'm gonna have her come here and just testify to you guys, because she was like most of you, whereas you're like, it's never gonna happen for me. I've been doing this for 7 years. She's been on the site since we went to grad school, and I graduated grad school a few years ago, I think 3 years ago. So, you know, she was that person too. It's never gonna happen for me. I've been applying to a million of these, but I kept on her, like, do it. I felt, hey, this is posted. I'm that person. I'm very annoying when it comes to affordable housing. I tell you that right now. If you're my friend, I guarantee you get like 3 texts a week telling you something is posted, please apply. That is me. That is me all day long. I really believe in this, and I want more people to benefit from it. So thank you guys for watching. I think I said that a million times, but I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll post more videos just to help you through this process, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Stay inside if you can. Follow the necessary steps. Do not take this for granted. This is serious stuff, and you know, I always say I feel like I'm in a movie, but this is real. So please be safe. Be safe, and just be mindful, be conscious. Sometimes we could unconsciously do things because obviously we're not accustomed to this new normal. So just be mindful of, you know, touching your face, all those stuff. Follow CDC guidelines, and just stay safe, guys. All right, thank you for watching. Have a blessed day.